What is up, y'all? Hope you guys are having a great Thursday. Hope the work week's been treating you well. Welcome to Livestream episode 4. It's kind of crazy. It's already episode 4. Um, just kind of got this setup going a few weeks ago, and here we are. So things are rolling. So thank you everyone who's in here who's already joined. Thank you, Carly Ann. Thank you, Bonita. Welcome. Uh, Bonita is chilling, having some ham dinner with the grandsons. You guys cooked that together. Very nice. Very, very nice. So, yeah, I hope everyone's week's going well. Hope you guys got some good plans for the weekend. Hopefully, I will be exploring this weekend. Will be really nice. Hopefully, I don't sound like sick or anything. Been dealing with some allergies. It's been crazy. All this pollen has just been absolutely crazy around here. So it kills me every single year, and I don't even want to go outside with all this pollen in the air. So it's been kind of crazy. So who else we got in here? I see we have 5 in here. So hello to everyone else that's in here. Definitely don't be afraid to say hello in the chat. Let me know. Let me know you're here. So I got a lot to talk about today. If you guys don't know who Casper Site is, um, he recently reacted to a video of the early 1900s mansion with that shadow figure that one of the subscribers, Leanne, found. So, what's up, Starnova? Thank you for joining. So his reaction was like absolutely hilarious. I love it. It was like really one of the first videos I've watched of Casper Site. I've known of his channel. I've just never really clicked on it, never really watched it or anything like that. So when I was made aware that he was using a clip that slapped ham, if you guys are familiar with slapped ham, he used that video from slapped ham and did a reaction to it. And when I watched it, I was just like, this guy's great. Like this is so funny. He did it so well. He didn't hate or anything like that, but his reaction was like, I don't know. It was really funny to me. So if anyone has seen it, let me know. But it was really cool. It was really cool also to be featured on Slapped Ham. If you're not familiar with Slapped Ham, it's like a compilation channel where he takes like creepy videos and kind of puts them together and just kind of talks about each video and whatnot. So, hey John, thank you for joining. Hey Fireman, thank you for joining. Yeah, good to see you. Good to see all the regulars in here and everything. That's awesome. So, all right, nice. We got like 10, 11 here, so I like to wait a little bit until the room gets in, say hi to everybody, see what's going on with you guys. If anyone's got good plans this weekend, going anywhere, throw it down in the chat. So hopefully I will be heading to a couple locations, maybe Friday night or Saturday night. I'm not too sure yet. So we'll see how that all works out. It might rain Saturday, but that doesn't really matter. So, hey Lori, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining, Lori. She says, hi, Chris. Still on vacation, but I wanted to come say hi. Awesome. Thank you very much. Are you in Colorado still, I think you said, or are you in California now? So either or, pretty cool. I'd love to visit Colorado. So, oh, awesome. Hermione, thank you very much. You made it all the way from South Africa. Um, what part of South Africa, if you don't mind me asking? I'm just kind of curious. So I don't know South Africa very well. So um, definitely let me know. So Lori, so you're in California. Very cool. Very cool. I would definitely like to make my way out to California too. So a lot of cool places. But all right. So I don't know if you guys want me to maybe just jump right into Casper Site, or if you guys got anything cool you want to tell me. But I might just jump right in. So See if I can cue this up. And hopefully the volume is good. Lori says, I go back to Ohio on Saturday. Very nice. What is there to do in Ohio? Because the only things I know of Ohio is like the Ohio State Reformatory and like, I don't know, maybe just some Urbex locations and whatnot. So I just don't know, like, what do you go for Ohio? I think, isn't the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Ohio or something like that? But I don't know. All right, so I look excited. I don't know, kind of am excited. It's really cool to be featured on channels like, you know, Casper Site and Slapped Ham and That Isn't Possible channel. Also, King Frostmere. If you guys don't know who King Frostmere is, he's a smaller, kind of spooky compilation video channel, and he always has a live stream going, and this guy has like the funniest but coolest voice for speaking over like spooky videos. It's like one of my favorites. So I'll just check in on his live stream just every now and then, just to like, I don't know, just kind of laugh. So I don't know. Carly-Ann likes King Frostmere. I know she likes King Frostmere. So Lori says, I have no idea, just moved there and I already miss California. Yeah, I don't know what people do in Ohio for fun, but if you're from Ohio, let us know. Let us know what's to do in Ohio. Bonita says, don't forget the Rando app I told you about. He's always also not too oh, the Rando app, or Randonautica app. Okay, yeah, so they the Randonautica app creators have their channel, and they did feature us on their channel. Well, but they haven't posted in a long time, so I don't know what's going on with them, but they did feature us. So it's really cool. It's really cool to have that happen. So help spread the channel. John says, Chills has a unique way of narrating. I sent Chills the clip. He hasn't used it yet. It's been a little over a month, maybe 2 months since I sent it to him. But either way, it's fine. They don't have to use it. But it is still cool to see, you know, you get mentioned in other videos. So Hermione says, I'm in the northwest near Johannesburg. Okay, I'm going to have to look at a map. I'm curious. So all right, let me queue up this video because this is funny. I did edit a couple of his swears out, even though it was really funny, but I do know that some of you guys have kids watching, and I try to keep it as kid friendly as possible. But if it's okay every now and then, you know, I let that slide, you know, just let me know. But I try to keep it a little bit kid friendly, because I know you guys are watching with them. So Lori says, I hear there's a lot of haunted places, but haven't gone to explore anything yet. There is supposed to be a lot of haunted in Ohio. So all right, let me bring this up.
Looking at some weird mysteries that are sure to freak you out. So hit that subscribe button and get ready for more creepy content. Just like this.
Okay.
I think it's playing pretty well.
Okay. Alright, Callum, let's go, mate. Slap the arm, mate. Slap the arm.
This is a mausoleum, an abandoned mausoleum.
Realm Explorer is an up-and-coming Urbex channel on YouTube. Chris, their lead investigator, often heads to notorious locations in the United States that are said to be haunted. In this clip, Chris and the team explore an old mansion that was built in the early 1900s.
Nice.
It was later transformed into a nursing home, but after years of mismanagement, the property fell into disrepair and was ultimately abandoned. The team
Some of this guy's
heads
like
in to
facial
explore
expressions
the
are
old
just
building.
I guess we can just go
hilarious.
right in.
Ourselves in, I guess.
Mr. Rogers?
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Wow.
Check this place out.
Looks more of a castle than the last castle we
Mate, I would love that house, mate. I would do that up maximum.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go up over here and let's roll.
There's still a lot of stuff on the property, old furniture, board games, a grand piano. Feels like this building was abandoned in a hurry.
Yeah.
Good old Phil joining us on that one.
Paid what?
Check out this piano, guys.
Who leaves a like? Look at that, mate. That's an expensive bit of equipment. And Monopoly. Go on, push it. Push it.
That's pretty sick.
Push your key.
As the team searches one of the rooms, they find an old newspaper that sets the tone for the
Munchies.
exploration.
This paper is 2006.
Initially, when Realm Explorer uploaded this episode to YouTube, they thought it was nothing more than an urban exploration.
Okay.
However, when it went live, viewers began to notice one section of the video that seems to show something rather eerie.
Oh,
As the
mate.
team explores a series of corridors, something strange happens. Watch.
And it don't look good. Who are you gonna call? Shadow bastard!
I gotta start using
Did
that.
I see
Gotta
something
steal
then?
that from him.
No, it was my imagination, I think. Oh, look, that wire's moving down the end there as well.
It's hard to spot at first, but if you slow it down on the left, there appears to be a shadow that
Oh,
retracts
fucking hell, mate, there was! Right there, mate! Right bloody there!
on view.
Look at you! Look at you!
Initially, it looks like it might just be the flashlight causing a shadow, but a short while later, the team shines the torch down the same corridor, and no shadow can be seen.
What the flip, mate?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to steal the shadow bastards.
So then, what is this strange anomaly? After going
That's a fucking shadow bastard, mate. I'm telling you, that's a shadow bastard. Isn't it? This doesn't make a noise either.
live, the video was flooded with comments that the team had
Edwina,
caught a
I don't know
shadow
what,
figure on camera.
the Burger King
These
foot
are said
lettuce
to be
is
elusive
still.
spirits that lurk in darkness, with a fleeting glimpse often seen out the corner of our eyes.
But thank you for joining.
It's hard to say what's been caught on camera here, but it's certainly strange that the
Oh,
second
mate, that is really, really weird, man.
time they look down the corridor that it can't be seen. So, until further info comes to hand, this sighting will have to remain a mystery.
Yeah, it's not there again, mate. Oh, mate, I wish they saw it and they could have gone down there and Rambo'd it.
So, yeah, I don't know. I thought he did a really good job with that. I mean, that's like one of the probably the first video I've seen of Casper Site. I've seen his thumbnails many, many, many times, and I know a couple subscribers are subscribers to Casper Site, and it was my first time seeing him react, and it was great to see the first time being like, you know, my channel. And I don't know, I think he's just genuine, and his facial expressions are hilarious. So I don't know, and that whole Shadow Bastards thing, that's what pretty much got me. So so props to Casper Site. If you guys are into, I guess, compilations and reaction videos, I'm gonna be watching a couple more of his too. So I haven't subscribed yet, but I will subscribe. So I thought he did a great job. So let's see, that piano was, Carlene says that piano was probably worth a pretty penny at one time. You know, some of the parts on that piano probably still is worth a pretty penny. You never know, especially if someone's trying to restore one. If you can get any of those parts off that piano, that would that could be worth something. So Lori, I don't really care for it. There's no mountains up here. Yeah, in Ohio, yeah, that's like what, like flat valleys, but you got like the Great Lakes up there. So I don't know, that might be kind of nice. So the Burger King lettuce is Chills. Okay. All right, I haven't even really watched Chills or Nuke's Top 5. So I don't know the references. John says still having to keep an open mind. It's still creepy. Are you referring to the video? that we just watched from the mansion. Hermione says still believe we missed that. The shadow, we still missed the shadow. I totally missed it. I probably edited that video. Like I probably watched it at least 5 or 6 times before I was done, before I actually posted that video. Because usually when I edit videos, I'll watch it first. I'll make markers of where I have to make some cuts and whatnot. And then I will rewatch it, make the cuts, rewatch it, re-edit it, watch it again, make sure I didn't miss anything. And like I go like through like 3 or 4 stages in some videos of just cutting, watching, make sure there was no weird mistakes. And then right before I post it, I watch it like one more time. And then by then I'm just sick of the video. I don't notice anything. And I'm sick of watching myself. So I missed it. I missed the one way down the hallway too. I didn't even see that. That one way down the hallway with the thing swinging, that was actually found by James from the Impossible channel. When I sent him the clip, I never even mentioned it. I just showed him the part that Leanne found. And then he ended up circling it in his video, and I was just like, whoa. And when I was talking to him on Instagram, I was like, hey man, you found that. Like I didn't even notice that one. My subs didn't even notice that one. That was all you. And he was super nice. So if you guys haven't checked out James from That Is Impossible channel, he's another compilation video channel that he'll do like crazy weather events. He'll do like crazy sightings in the sky, like weird things, haunted things, and he does a good job. He's from Brazil, and I really like That Is Impossible channel. I've been watching it for a long time. So he found that, and then after that, it kind of made its rounds to Slapped Ham, King Frostmere, then Caspersight, and there was one more. I think it was Matthew the Fam, maybe that's his channel name. Really cool channel. So I ended up subscribing to all those guys who use that. Let's see. Starting Over says, do you have a list where the other channels had featured you? I don't have a list. I should have maybe done something like thanking the channels. I did it for James and I did it for Slapped Ham, but those are the channels. So That Is Impossible channel, Slapped Ham, King Frostmere, Matthew the Fam. I'll you know what, maybe I'll put them all in the description. And then obviously Caspersight. So, and Caspersight was funny. So I really like Caspersight. So he does a good job. So let me know what you guys think of Caspersight. Let me know if you think he's a little over the top or anything. But I think he does a good job. So John, yes, the video. You know, I personally, that shadow, the first one down the hallway, the one when I panned my flashlight to the left, I'm going to still argue it a little bit, and I still think it is somehow the railing in front of the doorway, a shadow being casted by my light. That's a tactical flashlight, so that's like 1,000 lumens. So that directly hitting that railing, I think, created that shadow. I think so. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But the one at the end of the hallway, I'm not too sure on that. The one way down behind the dresser at the end of the hallway with the thing swinging, that one I'm not really too sure of. So who knows? And I don't know where the other guys were at that point, because during that video, after that point, when I went to the right into the other room and then into the other room next to it with the chimney, like when I turned around, Phil was just boom. He was right there. I have no idea what hallway he came in from. I have no idea. And I know I went upstairs before everybody, and I circled back to the opposite side of the mansion because I missed some of the rooms. So when I came back, I had no idea where Red was. Me and Phil ended up going into like kind of like a lunch rec area where that newspaper was. We explored that, and I was even staying there. I'm like, where did Red go? Like he disappeared. Like I had no idea where he went. And then when we went to go find him, we found him just creepily standing. I quickly cut to it. He was just like standing in a room all by himself, all creepily. So I have no idea where he was. And I'm not even sure where Phil was at that point. So, and I don't think Phil was down that hallway, because that hallway with the swinging thing, that hallway was the hallway with that lunchroom with the newspaper. So he hadn't gone in there yet. He even said to me, he's like, I haven't gone in this room yet. So he definitely was not down there. Red couldn't have been down there because we went down there and we explored it. And then when we came back, we found Red. So I have, I don't know about that one. So I could be wrong. So you guys know I'm always trying to like debunk every little possible thing, because I want like real evidence. So, but it's still cool. Let's see. Edwina says, have you never been to Florida or South Georgia? There's nothing but cows and cotton and flatland. I've never been to Florida. I've never been to South Georgia. I can feel the humidity by you just talking about about Florida and South Georgia, but I would love to go. And I know Georgia's probably got like a lot of old abandoned farmhouses and stuff like that too, probably. But Carlene says, spirit or demon, you think that thing was fast AF? I don't know. I really don't know. Fireman says, I was watching Nuke's top 5 a little bit ago. I still haven't even watched a single Nuke's video, but if he features me, I will subscribe and I'll start watching. John says, you do an awesome job editing. No over editing, 52 cuts per second, etc. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I try not to over edit. It also makes it easier on me if I can film in a style where it's like no editing or just very little cuts and everything. It makes things go faster for me, and I don't want to miss anything, because sometimes when I do stop recording, sometimes like noises happen and stuff, and I'm just like, crap, like even though it's kind of a pain to have like 2 hours of footage and go through it all, but like if you miss something, it sucks. Like you gotta, if you're doing this, you gotta keep rolling. You gotta keep it rolling. And right now I've been filming in 4K with my new camera, and my computer can barely handle editing in 4K. So I might have to start only doing select places in 4K and then doing the rest in like 1080, just to, I don't know, kind of give me a break a little bit, because it also uses so much memory recording in 4K. It's amazing. I'm gonna have to get more external hard drives, and it's a lot. But if you guys really dig the 4K, and if that makes the difference, I'll keep doing it. And I've already recorded 3 videos in 4K, so, and I'm already like, when I put in the editing program, I'm like, man, this is gonna be fun. So we'll see. All right, I will put those in the description. The channels that featured me, and don't forget the Randonautic. Okay, I will not forget the Randonautic app one. That was like their second or third to last video, their live stream, before they kind of just disappeared. And I'm just really curious what happened to the Randonautica people. Hopefully everything is well. Hopefully not too many parents or law enforcement got mad at them for, having people use their app and ending up in people's backyards and stuff. So that's the only downfall. Nick Starnovus says, linking them in the description would be very cool. We'll do that. I will definitely do that. Carly Ann says, I like that you always try to debunk things first instead of just running with it. Thank you. And I don't know, I feel like I'm like a frustrating person to work with or film with, because I'm always like debunking everything and just not letting things go. Like, I mean, I guess that's what you guys would want, is like, I don't know. Hopefully I'm not like a frustrating person to work with, because I'm always debunking things and whatnot. So, Bonita says, no, that was a black shadow. That was for real. It could be. It could be. I don't know. I'm going to still be a skeptic. I I kind of joke that like I need a ghost to come and just slap me in the face before I'd say like, okay, this place is haunted. It needs to come right up. So I think Leanne, she says that I need Mike Tyson to come and punch me in the Mike Tyson ghost to come punch me in the face until I say this place is haunted. So that is real evidence. What more do you mean by real evidence? I don't know. Like I said, until like I see something actually like something actually move, like a chair flip over or something, like something big, a table move, an actual apparition of some sort actually caught on camera or video, camera or like a video recording, something that is like something that like the majority of the people won't even second guess. They'll just be like, yeah, for sure. So I did have one EVP from the Saratoga homestead is probably my best evidence, and that was found by Tiffany. It was a woman saying, and I wasn't even doing an EVP session, I was walking around, but she clearly said she paused, and it said be with me. And I thought it was clear as day. It was a woman, no one else was near me. Phil and Chad were upstairs somewhere in a different area, and none of them could have made that voice, and none of them were near me. So that EVP is still the one that kind of, that one kind of boggles me. So, and it's pretty clear. You got to listen to it with like headphones on or something like that, but you can hear it 100%. John says, I admit I would never go exploring areas alone. Yeah, right. You go upstairs, I'll go downstairs all alone. Dark, decrepit building. I actually like to go off on my own. I like exploring in groups, but exploring alone is it's more intense for me, and I don't know. It makes the experience for me more scary. But when you're with other people, I don't know. You just don't worry as much, and you have to debunk other people's noises. But it is more fun being in the group. But being alone is like a whole nother game. It's so. That's why not a lot of people do it. But the ones who do it, definitely respect. And I don't know. The last couple videos I did, I was alone. Bonita says, me and the boys actually got to go to Harry Potter World at Universal down in Florida. That'd be pretty cool. I've never read or watched any Harry Potter, but it seems pretty cool. Carly Ann says, the Black Shadow was definitely a figure apparition of some sort. Looked like it briefly stepped out to peep around the corner, then popped right back. Yeah, it definitely looks it, and how dark the shadow was is definitely that's, I don't know, it's a really, really dark shadow. That part kind of gets me. But I'm wondering if the beam of the tactical flashlight being so aggressive on that pole that it is possible that it could produce a dark shadow as bad. So I'm gonna be a little scientific about it, but also I don't want to be so closed off. Yeah, Hermione, nope, that was a shadow. Good thing you didn't see it. You would have ran to it, and then we all would be freaking out. Probably. I'd probably be like, hey, come back here. I need full body apparition. I need proof. Starnover says, you look better in a Red Sox ball cap. Oh, because I'm because I'm from Boston. I don't really watch sports. So I don't know. They are nice, baseball caps are nice though and everything. So I need a nice Realm Explorer cap or something like that. John says you'd have to be that way or else nothing is really valid. Yeah, I think so. Definitely. Bonita says that is a poltergeist. Also a person can move things with the force of their mind. So they say. Yeah. 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 So a poltergeist is an entity that can like physically move things, right? Like with their mind or just their energy, something like that. I've never experienced any type of poltergeist activity. Only one that I kind of debunked where my camera got knocked down at at the uh, the farm colony. But I think that was my mistake that camera fell. So that's how I'm going to debunk that one. But I wouldn't have set up a brand new camera that I literally just bought. And I just bought because that camera model just came out. So that's a brand new camera. And I wouldn't have set my camera just to fall on the ground and, so, but I could have. It was late. I was tired. Hey, Chase and Plastic, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining, my friend. Carly says, you've caught several smaller activities in your videos, and we know it's genuine because you are transparent about your work. Thank you very much. I try to be as transparent as I possibly can, and very open. John says, in the movie Changeling, the seance session automatic writing, the medium has her assistant saying what's written later. The main character listen to the tape. You hear the child answer creepy. The movie Changeling. I've never seen the movie Changeling. When I hear the word Changeling, I think of the shapeshifter from Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Odo. They called him a changeling. Yeah, I'm dropping Star Trek again. Lori says, have you personally ever experienced anything paranormal? Yes. When I was very, very, very young, and I've never told anybody except one person the story, and I don't like to tell it because I'm always gonna doubt myself. So, but yeah, I was like 5 years old, living in Boston, and yeah, I definitely saw an apparition and interacted with it. So, maybe I'll tell the story one day, but. And I remember to this day exactly how it was too. And it wasn't a dream. I thought to myself for a while it was a dream, and then something called Google Maps came out, or maybe it was another type of maps. And I narrowed down the house because it was near my house, and that house exists. So I would have never known that house exists if it wasn't for Google Maps. And I know where the house is today, and it exists. So I was there. John says Realm Explorer caps would be neat. I'm gonna be I'll do some cool hats. When I hit 10,000 subscribers, they will let me do some merch through YouTube, and that is that's the goal. And right now I'm gonna be trying to I guess upgrade the look of the channel a little bit, and maybe kind of polish off how I want the logo and everything to look like. So. I'm going to be working on that. I'm going to be working on some merch designs and just kind of upgrading how the channel looks. Make it look better. Bonita says at Penn State, they have a class you can take on different paranormal. Oh, very cool. When I was doing my nursing, I also took that class. It was so much fun. That would be cool. I would be down to do some kind of paranormal class. And I wonder if I could like film the whole experience. That'd be kind of fun. John says that was an excellent movie, The Changeling. I will look it up. I will check out that movie. Bonita, you have to tell us the story, dude. Yeah. Carly Ann, the rest of the story, please. Starnover says, I will pay for a new ball cap for you, especially one with your logo. Yeah, let me work on a new logo. Let me polish it up, and I'll rock a Realm Explorer. If I have a cap with the patch spot on it where you can put a patch, and I have a Realm Explorer patch, but it kind of fits goofy, so I don't wear it. I have it in my car. It just kind of sits in my car, but it fits a little goofy. But so. Okay, so the class was back in the 80s. All right. Yeah, there's more paranormal classes. I think who is it? It's like maybe Paranormal, like Southern Florida or something like that. I see them on Instagram a lot. I think they do some kind of class. So if I am in Florida, maybe I can link up with them and do some kind of paranormal class or whatnot and get different takes on how to do things. I would like to maybe talk to someone who's like professional and like, I don't know, like seances and stuff like that and that kind of stuff. So that way I can learn that aspect of it. So if I do come up to some place and there's some kind of, looks like some kind of activity, you know, some kind of cult activity or some kind of seance was done there, I would like to kind of be able to recognize symbols and what they mean and stuff like that. So maybe I can put together stories better and whatnot. So they want to hear the rest of the story. I've never told the story. I've never told, except just the one person knows the story. So it's been like 27 years, and it's like a 2-part story, I guess. 2 day event, or like 2-day event for the story. So Lori, yes, please tell us the whole story. All right. So I don't know, I was probably like 5 years old or so at the time. And so this goes over a couple days. I don't remember how many days in between this was or anything like that. But we lived in a split house. We lived on the top floor. There was another resident on the on the first floor, and then there was just the basement. And it was like a split ranch. And me, my sister, and my cousin were playing out in the front yard, and it was a cul-de-sac. So it comes to an end. It's a big circle at the end, and we're the house on the left in the cul-de-sac. And right at the end of the cul-de-sac, and this is right in like the outer neighborhood of Boston. So there's houses everywhere, but we had like woods next to our house, and that section of the woods we used to play in all the time. And then it goes into another neighborhood, and then that the road right next to it is like a major. It's considered like a highway, but it's like one of those 2-lane main roads that's considered a highway, but it's not really a highway. So busy road. So we're playing outside, and some guy drives up. He looks like Al Borland from the TV show Home Improvement. So he has the beard. He has kind of that comb over brown hair, and he, not a big guy, but like, a little chunky, but like Al Borland. He looked like Al Borland. That's how I always remembered him. So he comes up in a blue, like maybe like 1990, late 80s van. He drives up, he looks at us, and he just smiles. And I have a wiffle ball bat in my hand, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, this guy's bad. So I'm like threatening him with my wiffle ball bat, like that would do anything. And he just kind of laughs at us. And then my sister and my cousin just, we all just kind of like go in the house. And so I'm guessing he just maybe was just spinning around or whatever in the cul-de-sac. But I remember him distinctively. I remember his blue. It was like that baby blue, maybe the old Chevy baby blue van. So that was like that's how I knew this vehicle. And this is what ties in to the next part. So the next part is, it's a whole nother day. I'm playing outside. My mom's outside. My mom's friend is outside, and she brings over her son, Jimmy and Johnny. They're our friends. Johnny was about my age. Jimmy was about my sister's age. And I'm playing out in the front, and for some reason, I'm like, hey, where's my sister? Like, I'm kind of like thinking, like, where is she? And for some reason, something kind of was just like, hey, something was telling me like, oh, she went to go play out in the woods, like, normally like what we would do. So I'm like, okay. And no one told me this. Something came in my head like, she's out playing in the woods. So I went into the woods and went down like the path to the left. It's kind of open in the middle, like the trees surround it, but it's open. And then I walked through the woods, cut behind, I think what used to be kind of like a church. I never knew what it was. It's a very small building, but I thought it was maybe a church. And when I came up out of the woods into the neighborhood, into the road that was like that main highway kind of road, there was a yellow house. And the yellow house in the driveway had a shed at the very end of the driveway. and it was just a straight driveway out to the little main road, and in the driveway was the blue van, the exact blue van, and in the yard, it was one of those, I don't know, the house was like one of those ones, looks like kind of like the style of Lizzie Borden house, because we have a lot of those in like the Boston area where, so the backyard was just like a rectangular shape, elongated, not really big. It was all fenced in. There was a lot of breaks in the fence, and I could see a bunch of children in the yard. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, there's a bunch of kids playing in the yard. And there was kids, like, all mixed race. All, like, just, there was white kids, black kids, Hispanic kids, all mixed race in the yard. And I'm like, oh, cool. Like, I'm going to go say hi to these kids. Like, this is cool. So I go to the break in the fence, and I'm just looking in and everything. And one boy comes up to me. And I can tell you exactly what he looked like. He was probably about my age, about 5 years old, really skinny, had no shirt on, shaved head. He was a young black boy. He comes right up to me, sticks his arm right through the fence, like to shake my hand. But kind of like, like when you put your whole arm out, like to grab, like you kind of grab like each other's forearms, like he put his whole forearm out. So I went to go grab his forearm, and my whole arm went right through his arm. I looked right at him, and I ran home. And when I ran home, I was like, where's my sister? And my mom said she's in the back with Jimmy. And I went to the back, and she's sitting on the back steps with Jimmy right there. She was never even in the side yard or anything like that, or the woods. So that is the story. And so when I, years later, and I would always remember this, like, oh, maybe it was just a dream. But years later, Google Maps comes out, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I'm going to look up to see if this house exists. And it exists, so. Sorry, I'm still battling some allergies. But that is the official story. So until I see something like that again, I'm not convinced. But, all right. So you guys got the story out of me. Come on, the story. Hermione says, I saw a ghost when I was 13 and never again, but I know it was real. If there are people who will believe you, it's us. Well, thank you. Bonita says, home alone. Sorry guys if I go on like little coughing fits. This pollen's been killing me. And it's 3 a.m. here in South Africa, the witching hour. And you got a good story there. John says, allergies are really bad. Have been doing yard work and suffering. Yep, I've been staying away from the outside world because of these allergies. Benita says I should go back to the house and investigate. I was thinking about it. I was thinking about like knocking on the door and maybe talking to these people and being like, hey, like this thing kind of happened here. Can I do something? They actually, the last time I looked at it, it looks like they redid the siding. The house looks different. They said they redid the siding, redid some of the yard, redid some things. So I am gonna ask them to be double checking. Like, was this house yellow? Like, did you guys do something to this house? So that's the only one time that I legit feel like I saw something, and I would always be like, hey, maybe it was just a dream. But when I saw it on Google Maps, I'm like, the house exists. That main road highway is right there. I wouldn't have known. I would have known. It's the only time. I mean, you're 5 years old. I'm not walking around the neighborhood in Boston. Like, I wouldn't have known. So, yeah, there's that. But, all right. I got a couple other things, and I kind of want to go into, if you guys have heard the Villisca Axe Murder House. I've been watching a couple of things lately on it, and it's got me really intrigued. So I kind of want to do a segment on the Villisca Axe Murder House. but Lori says, "Oh my God, that must have been frightening for you." It was. It was. You know, I was like, "Hey, it's a bunch of kids. Like, kind of cool. Let's, you know, kind of go there. You kind of want to play, hang out, and yeah, that changed. So." God, I'm gonna have to take something for these for these allergies, but I do have one more like paranormal video. It's not the best, but if you guys want me to play it, I have a video, and I can play it. Let's see. I don't know how much I'm gonna go into it, but I thought this was a little bit interesting, and I want your thoughts on it too.
What is that? That's what we heard earlier on.
That was like thunder.
When we were down there earlier, that's exactly what we...
That's a tank, that's a tank. Yeah, but where are the guys?
They're north, but they wouldn't make that sort of noise.
They're down the north. Fucking hell. Shouldn't be able to hear that.
No.
What is it?
It's like cannon going off. The guys are in the north, right?
Yeah, they're in the north.
All of them?
Yeah, we've just left them.
Behind you? Yeah. Yes. Come out of it, come out of it.
Everybody up there now. Up yourself.
So that video was in the UK somewhere, and you know, I don't think the UK has like earthquakes or anything like that. So this was a group ghost hunting. Sorry guys, it's gonna be brutal. This was a group ghost hunting in Fort Woodley in Portsmouth, and they heard that loud thunderous roar. I don't know what you guys think about that. Again, I can play it again real quick.
What is that? That's what we heard earlier on.
That was like thunder.
When we were down there earlier, that's exactly what we...
That's a tank, that's a tank. Yeah, but where are the guys?
They're north, but they wouldn't make that sort of noise.
They're down the north. Fucking hell. Shouldn't be able to hear that.
No.
What is it?
It's like cannon going off. The guys are in the north, right?
Yeah, they're in the north.
All of them?
Yeah, we've just left them.
Behind you? Yeah. Yes. Come out of it, come out of it.
Everybody up there now. Up yourself.
So yeah, let me know what you guys think of that, because like I don't know, I don't think they have like earthquakes or anything like that, and it did sound like cannons were going off down there. So I thought that was kind of interesting, and that was recent, so I try to stick to like recent events that I do see. I think this was like, yeah, May 21st 2022. So I thought this was pretty cool. So let me know what you guys think about that. But Lori says, I was elevated in my grandparents' bed one night. I will never forget that. That is crazy. Damn. Sorry, guys. I'm going to try to do my best here. So I want to go into the Villisca axe murderer's house. I thought this was really interesting. I've been reading a lot about this. Thank you, Tammy, for joining over in Louisiana. Very beautiful, very beautiful. I've never been there, but I bet you it is beautiful in Louisiana. Is it really humid already? Bonita says, yes, and during World War II, all the bombs going off, that's what it sounded like. I could imagine. Carly-Ann says, I don't understand how the killer was able to kill 8 people with an axe without alarming the others or anything. Just tragic all the way around. Hope all their souls are at peace. I agree. Tammy says, that was crazy. I think I would have ran too. Yeah, and I don't know what would make that noise there. So I don't know if it's anything paranormal, but I like to try to find new things, you know, and kind of show them to you guys and everything. Lori says, Carly-Ann, my grandparents' place is built on an old Indian burial site. That same night that happened, my cousin and myself sat and listened to an old non-working phone ringing. Wow. That's crazy. John, thank you very much for the donation. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Says he enjoys the channel and live streams. Thank you. Thank you very much. Starting over, was there more to the story about the cave? Yeah, let me see here. Let me pull up the article for you guys. I can go into a little bit more for you guys with that real quick before we go into Villisca. See. Ooh. There it is. Okay. A video shows a terrifying moment. Ghost hunters fled a haunted fort as loud rumbling shook the building. The group were on a ghost hunting tour around the tunnels of Fort Woodley in Portsmouth, which are said to be the home to various spirits when the thunderous roar rocked the building. The noise gets louder and louder, prompting the spooked group to flee. It all happened just after group leader Debbie McCall tried to communicate with the spirit world. Tony Ferguson, who captured the scene on camera, said, at first I thought it was thunder, but the noise was too frequent. Then the tunnel started to vibrate as the sound got closer. We had members of the public with us, and they looked terrified, and then realized that this wasn't thunder. I started to feel anxious myself, as did everyone, as we were at the end of the tunnel, and it just sounded like bombs going off. And that's my question is, does the UK get like rumbles? Do they get small earthquakes? Is there something explainable to this? Or maybe they're drilling tunnels somewhere. I don't know. It just doesn't, I don't know if it would be paranormal. Then as the group discusses what they heard, they're visibly startled by the boom. So yeah, they said the best I would describe this as a mini earthquake. Yeah, you know, I don't know. Like, I guess that's the fort. That's a really creepy spiral staircase. Spiral staircases are very creepy, and the video coming out tomorrow morning has a very creepy spiral staircase going into a basement with some tunnels, and yeah. But that's really it on that article. So, but yeah, that spiral staircase is really creepy. So, okay. Tammy says, it has been in the 90s already. Humidity's been 75 to 75%. That's brutal. That's brutal. Lori says, there was so much going on in that house property. I saw it at all firsthand. I kind of would really like a property that was haunted. That would be that'd be amazing. Bonita says, that's what it was. Bombs going off. The tunnel was shaking, and also was that a fort? Yeah, that was a fort, but it's not an active fort. That's an older fort. The only thing I could think of is maybe they were doing some drilling, maybe making some making some tunnels or something like that somewhere nearby, but I don't know. Hermit says you could do a graveyard as well. I would love to do. I got to do some more graveyards. I will be soon. I will be soon. Tammy says the axe murder has always been interesting to me. How he went into that house and only killed them, then just left and did not hurt the neighbors. It's weird. Starnover says the UK is not prone to earthquakes and rarely gets severe thunderstorms. Yeah, so that's interesting. That's interesting. All right. Yeah, let me get into the axe murder house. So if you guys aren't familiar with it, I'm gonna go to their website because they have a lot of good history on it, and I have some notes as well. All right. So June 9th, 1912. That's when this event happened. Let's go over to the history here. And this is tough to see, but I'll read most of it. So, so June 9th and 10th, because I believe it happened somewhere around like midnight or so. Lena and Ina Stillinger. Well, actually, I'm going to skip that part right there, just because Lena and Ina were actually guests that were staying overnight at the axe murder house, at the Morse family house. So, pretty much, the night before, on June 9th, the whole town was at one of the churches because there was like a church event going on, and all the kids were pretty much. The whole Moore family kids and the Stillinger kids, Lena and Ina, were part of the church event. And they had left the church event. It was like somewhere maybe around like 9:30. And they got home between 9:30 and 10 p.m. And they had asked the parents of Lena and Ina if they could pretty much spend the night there. One of the daughters, so the bedroom, Ina and Lena and Ina stayed in the bedroom downstairs. That was one of the daughters of the Moores. She ended up, saying like, hey, you guys can have my room. So they were in the room downstairs. Somebody was most likely already in the house. And the rest of the family was asleep. They think the murder happened maybe around midnight, between midnight and 1 p.m. or so. Someone was already in the house. Took an axe, killed all 6 children with the axe, killed the adults, killed the parents. For some reason, he covered all their faces with sheets, coat, and whatnot. And covered all the mirrors too in the house, closed all of the curtains except for like 2 because they didn't have curtains. And then he sat down and had a meal. Or it was like an unfinished meal, but he pretty much sat down to have a meal. So the following morning, about 5 a.m., Mary Peckham, the neighbor, stepped into her yard to hang laundry. At approximately 7 a.m., she realized that not only had the Moores not been outside, nor the chores began, but that the house itself seemed unusually still. Between 7 and 8 a.m., Mary Peckham approached the house and knocked on the door. When she received no response, she attempted to open the door only to find it locked from inside. After letting out the Moore's chickens, Mary placed a call to Josiah, I don't know, guys, I'm so bad with names. Josiah's brother, Ross Moore, setting into place one of the most mismanaged murder investigations to ever be taken. Based on the testimonies of Mary Peckham and those who saw the Moores at the Children's Day exercise, it is believed that sometimes between midnight and 5 a.m., an unknown assailant entered the home of the J.B. Moore and brutally murdered all occupants of the house with an axe. Upon arriving at the home of his brother, Ross Moore attempted to look in the bedroom window and then knocked on the door and shouted, and knocked on the door and shouted, attempting to raise someone inside the house. When that failed, he produced his keys and found one that would open the door. Although Mrs. Peckham followed him on the porch, she did not enter the parlor. Ross went no further than the room of the parlor. When he opened the bedroom door, he saw 2 bodies on the bed and dark stains on the bedcloths. He returned immediately to the porch and told Mrs. Peckham to call the sheriff. The 2 bodies in the room downstairs were Lena Stillinger, age 12, and her sister Ina, age 8. They were house guests of the Moore children. The remaining members of the Moore family were found in the upstairs bedrooms by City Marshal Hank Horton, who arrived shortly. Every person in the house had been brutally murdered, their skulls crushed as they slept. Josiah Moore, age 43, Sarah Montgomery Moore, age 39, Herman Moore, age 11, Catherine Moore, and that bedroom downstairs was Catherine's. That was Catherine's bedroom that she lent to Ina and Lena Stillinger. She was 9, Boyd Moore 7, Paul Moore 5, as well as the Stillinger sisters. Yeah, and I also heard because I was watching a couple other people investigating this house, that the tour guide had said that after he had murdered all of them, he went back for a second round and ended up hitting them again with the axe. Left the axe downstairs by that first bedroom where Ina and Lena was, and I guess maybe attempted. I think it says even here, it says the axe was found in the room. Yeah, the axe was found in the room occupied by the Stillinger girls. It was bloody, but an attempt had been made to wipe it off. The axe belonged to Josiah Moore. So yeah, there's a lot of weird things going on here. It said that the coroner reported a slab of bacon on the floor in the downstairs bedroom lying near the axe, weighing nearly 2 pounds and wrapped as he thought maybe a dish towel. So it's very strange. And one of the people who they thought, one of the suspects, which was this guy right here. This one's kind of interesting. So Reverend Kelly. So apparently Reverend Kelly said that he was going for a walk and he was somehow across the street of the Villisca axe murder house. He was across the street of the Moore's house, and he had saw a shadow figure come out from the back of the house, and that shadow figure handed him the axe. And then he said, he testified and said that he went in the house and some voice told him to do it. But then all of a sudden later on, he retracted his statement and said that he didn't do it. So he was one of the suspects. This guy here actually seems like he was probably the guy who did it. This guy apparently had a series of events where he killed people with an axe, and then he actually ended off. After he killed the Moore family, which is kind of funny. Like he shares the same last name as them. He ends up killing his parents. So with an axe. So it's just kind of strange how this guy has a history of, murdering people with axes throughout, and, then they're trying to figure out, because this is like an unsolved mystery, and then they figure out this family, the Moore family, just, got killed, same MO as this guy. So very interesting. There was a few other suspects. None of them really worked out, but I thought this place was very interesting, and I have, I have a whole picture of the family here. For some reason, I don't see Catherine here. I don't know if they misnamed one of them, but this is the Moore family, and this is the Stillinger girls. And this is like one of the most documented murders that's kind of unsolved, and it probably would have been solved very easily nowadays. So it's just very strange. And then right here they have the axe. There's the axe. There's the keys that they found. I'm not sure about the mallet here, but that is the axe that was used, which was found at the house. And I don't know, it's kind of amazing. I would really love to investigate this place. It is quite a ways from me, but it would be worth it. They do charge a lot to spend the night. It's like $400 and something to spend the night there. But I found this one very interesting. I've been watching a couple of videos on it. I've been reading up on it, and I kind of wanted to share it with you guys because it's a place that is now on my list for sure. And yeah, I don't know if you guys got some other insights on the Villisca axe murder. Let me know, and let me catch up with you guys a little bit too. So I'm sorry if my voice sounds awful today. Carly-Ann says, axe is pretty up close and personal. That is very up close and personal. You have to be really, really mentally ill to do that. There's even stories of people who purchased the house or lived in the house afterwards. I think there was one, maybe like the 1930s or so. A couple bought the house, or a family bought the house, and the husband wouldn't even stay in the house for like 10 years. He like stayed in the barn or something like that. And then like in the 40s, there were a bunch of seances being performed in there to try to communicate. And then there was like another family in like the 60s, where I think it was this one. I think that he was sharpening a knife. He was sharpening a knife with a sharpening stone, and he ends up just stabbing himself in the hand, and he doesn't like recall the situation. It's like something kind of took over him, kind of like maybe like an Amityville horror situation where some kind of like spirits or some kind of entity takes over him and takes over people. And just like the Reverend said, that, you know, something told him to do it. Like he saw a shadow figure coming out from the backyard, and the shadow told him to do it. And then I think the tour guide said something about someone in 2014 going there to do an investigation where the guy like stabbed himself. And he said that even a lot of people who come there and stay there, they end up getting really argumentative, and, you know, things get heated and stuff in that house. And he recommends people who go there, if you start getting heated, if things, you know, start getting out of hand in there, to leave, just to go outside. So maybe there's something in there that is possessing people. Maybe there's something the house was built upon. Maybe they built that house on some kind of burial spot, or something like that. Or maybe that whole town has something. Maybe there's something going on there that's you know, has that Amityville horror situation where someone gets like kind of possessed into doing something. So Starnova says, it's in the middle of the night, nobody's drilling, it's not the Big Dig. The Big Dig is still going on. If you guys don't know what the Big Dig is, it's the giant mess in Boston where they tried making tunnels. One of the tunnels are okay, but it's just a mess. They spent so much money and they're still working on it, and the tunnels are falling apart, and it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. Bonita says, no, it is a repetitive memory that the stones can carry, and learned that in paranormal class. Tammy says, okay, Tammy's referring to the summers in Louisiana. Very hot and humid. Be like a sauna, definitely. Carly-Ann says, that's so sick of the killer to be able to eat after all of that. Had to have been a gruesome sight. Yeah, that's the weirdest part of that, is like, you do that and then you make a meal, but I don't think he ate the meal. So there's like, what the heck goes through people's minds? Like, what possesses people? And that makes me start thinking like there is like some kind of like demon entities of some sort, you know, just takes over people, you know. And the mass majority of people are just great people, and it's just unfortunate that we have We have to deal with people like this. Seems personal between covering their faces and then going back to them again with the axe. I think the tour guide said that some I don't know, some person came in there and said that covering their faces and covering mirrors is like a sign of remorse. Maybe he snapped out of it. You know, maybe like he got possessed and then did all that, doesn't remember it, doesn't recall it. And then when he sees what happens, maybe, you know, there's some remorse, you know. Tammy says it would be an interesting investigation. Yeah, I'm gonna try to book it. I'm gonna try to book it if once I do like a trip out through, because I know there's a lot of places in Ohio, a lot of places in that area for urban exploration and whatnot, and paranormal. So if I can create some kind of road trip and have that be kind of like the end, maybe like the end spot, you know, at the end of the week, hit that and then head home. I'll try to do it. It's just a little bit expensive. I'd like to maybe split that with somebody. I think it even says on here it's like $428 for a group of 1 to 6 people, $75 for each additional person. And it's a small house too, so I would like to keep it maybe under 4 people, absolutely maximum under 4 people, if I did that. So yeah. Lori says your house that you lived in is no longer there anymore. Very interesting. I was gonna say, hey, let's give me the keys. Let me go investigate. Starnova says, are you kidding me? The big dig is still going on. They're fixing all the corners they cut right now from the big dig. We still have like, it's leaking. The tunnel that goes, I think it's the Ted Williams tunnel. It's still leaking. The walls are dirty. You know, it's like they just finally replaced the lights. Like, it's a mess. Like, the big dig was a huge mess. I mean, it definitely saves you some time, but when you're going through an obstacle course of construction cones and stuff, and you're in traffic because they're doing work to it, it's a mess. It's a mess. Tammy says that is expensive, and is that to like spend the night there? Yep, you'll have the whole night there. I mean, it's not so bad with the group. I mean, most hotels, if I were to get even the cheapest hotel, like I have, you know, it's about $120 a night for like a Super 8 motel. So, you know, if you do split that between 3 people, you know, that's not so bad. That's not so bad. But if I were to go there, I know I wouldn't be able to do that by myself. I'd have to work out some kind of road trip to go to the to Villisca, and I think it's like 20 something hours, about 21 hours away, and that's not stopping. So obviously I would have to stop a couple times, and it's on the list. There's a couple other spots on the list too, but all these places are the same. You know, it's except for the Conjuring House. I mean, the Conjuring House, I could spend $130 and spend the night there and have the whole place to myself. And I kind of like, I mean, Corey from the Conjuring House is the best, and you know, that's the absolute that's like the best Ferris deal. And also the Wilson Castle in Vermont, Denise just takes a donation. You know, she doesn't care really what you give. I try to give her a night, you know, a good amount, like a fair amount, and but she doesn't care. And you know, but some of these places, and this place is tiny. I mean, the Wilson Castle, I'd spend $400 to spend a night in the Wilson Castle. That'd be, you know, that's more, I think that's better. I think it's more fair. This place, you know, I don't think there's no electricity. I don't know if there could be there's electricity, but I think there's no lights in the Villisca Axe House. And, you know, I don't think the heat is that great either. I think the group that went there that I watched recently was TFIL, and they had to leave early because it was like -20 out and the heat wasn't working. So, Chan Britt, hello, thank you for joining. Thank you very much for joining. So this is on the list, and I have a few other places that I'm going to be kind of featuring that is on the list, and it has interesting history. I'm not really going to feature places if it doesn't really have a history or story behind it, but this one's like gruesome. I mean, this is one of the most gruesome ones you can think of. A lot of the places, there's no confirmed murders or anything in them. I mean, this whole family, including a guest, 2 children, the Stillinger sisters, Jesus Christ, you spend the night at a friend's house and then this happens. Another thing is like, you go to this church event. Did this guy come in the house while they were at the church event? There's a, upstairs is not a secret room, but I think it's like one of those birthing rooms, kind of like the Conjuring house has. And it has those little 2 Amityville horror looking windows. I can probably pull up maybe the picture. Yeah, so those little 2 windows on the side, that little room right there, they think maybe he was hiding in this room up there. And another thing is when you have a house full of 8 people and you hear someone walking around, you're probably just thinking like, that's just somebody else in the house, getting a glass of water or something. Maybe you're not thinking of it, but I mean, I don't even know. That's just so crazy. And there's more gruesome things that I could say about the way they found the Stillinger sisters. One of the girls was not. I'm not even gonna mention it. I mean, you guys can read up on it as you want, but you can only imagine. So Bonita says that is where they said he hid. Yeah, so that must be where he hid. And it's like a little small door, and it's like a little like a birthing style room or something like that, or like I don't know, maybe it was just storage. I'm not too sure, but yeah. So like your family's going to some church event, the whole town's there. You come back home, it's late, it's like 10 a.m. And I think it's normal for them. I think the neighbor said that usually they're up and out, in the morning. Things are going on. You have a house full of kids. The house is awake. People are out doing things by 5 to 8 a.m. at the least, at the latest. There's always things to be done. Chickens need to be let out, whatever, So I also, the way the tour guide described it in the video, he said that it was like an overcast that day. And when Moore's brother went there and opened the door, it was dark in the house, of course, because there was, no lights or anything. So he lit a match. He lit the match and he walked into that first room where the Stillinger girls was. And just, that's all he could just see, them being, them dead, and then seeing the axe. And then he kind of just left, called the authorities and everything. And, it's just that's just horrible. So this house, this house is very, very interesting to me because something like that happened there. And because multiple events of people kind of becoming I guess, possessed in that house to do weird things. I don't know, has some kind of lure to me. John says, I always thought windows like that were creepy looking. Regardless, they are. Those are creepy looking windows. Bonita says, in that house, you can see above the grossest bed chips in the ceiling from where the axe hit. Yeah, I did see that in the video. They showed where they kind of covered over where one of the axes hit on the ceiling. So, and they described like the way of the pools of blood is that like, I forget whose room it was, but I think it was one of the children's rooms upstairs. When he killed him, he left and kind of stood at the doorway for a little bit, and the blood from the axe kind of dripped and pooled on a specific spot on the floor. And then he kind of left. So like, I don't know, he was probably like in a daze of some sort. If he kind of like did something, stopped, just stood there for a little bit, enough for like blood to drip and pool on the floor. And then like, I don't know, go back. He went back for his second rounds or whatnot. Bonita says, in the house above where the children sleep, there are chips in the ceiling. Yeah, that's I think that's the where the axe marks hit. So Carly says, "Oh my God, that is haunting as it gets." It is. It is. And there's more to go off of, and more names you can use and stuff, and a lot of things you can ask. So I'm very interested in this place. It's on the list. It's high up on the list. I would like to get out there, and I know I can probably map out some other places on my way there too. So I got to kind of make it into a trip where I can get as many places as possible, and then have that be like the end, the last stop. So Tammy says, "I am not sure how many families lived in the house after that, but eventually no one could live there. I bet it is haunted." Yeah, and I think the current owner bought it in like 1994. I think it says it somewhere over here. I think they bought it in 1994, and it ended up. Yeah, it says 1994. Darwin and Martha Lynn Corning purchased the home, and then and then at some point it was registered in like the historical places, and then they ended up fixing it all up and everything. So I think they are still the current owners. I'm not too sure on that. I just know who the tour guide was, and he did a good job in the videos. So if you guys at the Villisca Axe Murder House somehow see this, let me know. Hook me up. Just asking. John says, "It is known magnetic fields affect the brain. I always wonder if events like that are from convergence in the magnetic field. The magnetic field is not stationary." I don't know. It's a good point, though. I find witch windows cooler than Amityville windows, plus they're a New England thing. Yes, the witch windows. I do know what you're talking about. There are windows that are built at an angle. So like, regular windows like this, the witches windows are like, they're built at like an angle like that. So I think the Lamb House has a witch's window. Lori says, "Sorry if I missed it, but when did the murders take place?" It took place June 9th, 1912. Yeah, June 9th, 1912. All right, guys. So I think that's all I'm gonna do on the Villisca house. John says, "It's one way I'd look at it. Of course, I look at regular psychology." Yeah. Definitely regular psychology, and also you never know. There could be some kind of magnetic field there, or some kind of force of some sort in that area that affects. Maybe it only affects certain people. Maybe only certain people are sensitive to it. Maybe some other people just block it out. I don't know. It's always something interesting to go into. Tammy asks, "What is the scariest thing that has happened to you on your explores?" The scariest thing is when you have other people showing up to places that you're exploring, because you don't know what their intentions are. You don't know if there are people trying to rat on you or get you in trouble, or a nosy neighbor. So that is usually the scariest thing that comes into mind. Obviously, when I go to places, I don't do anything. I'm not stealing or breaking anything. I'm just there to film and take pictures and whatnot, and see if these places are haunted. So when you have kind of like cars circling back and forth and whatnot, it can kind of be intimidating, and you don't know who they are. You don't know if they're security. You don't know what their deal is. Sometimes it's other explorers, freaked out by you. So like you kind of freak each other out. Like I think I had that happen at a mansion that I was doing with Chad, where when we first got there, it was nighttime, and my car was parked on the side of the road, down the road a little bit, kind of where you would park if you were an explorer, kind of away from the house, and then you walk to the house. And the car showed up, and we could, we can't use our lights because it's nighttime, and we'd obviously be seen if we use our lights. So we're just sitting by the window, and it's pouring outside too. And this car is just driving up, going to the end of the road, spinning back, driving up, stopping in front of the house. We don't know if it's a neighbor thinking we're in there. We don't know if, I think it was possibly another explorer, but it always is like the most sketchiest, scariest part, because you cannot focus on filming. You cannot focus on what you're doing. You're just like, who is this person? Are they going to be trying to get us in trouble? Are they just other explorers? So that's really the scariest thing. But when it comes to like paranormal and stuff, I haven't had anything like really that scary happen quite yet. All right, so tomorrow I have a video coming out, usually same time. Usually, it's a abandoned hospital, a very creepy abandoned hospital, right up there on the top of the list. Especially like location, it's kind of isolated on the top of like a hill set back. It's a very big hospital. It's a 2-part video. Second part will be coming next week for a paranormal investigation next week on it. But the first part, it's a long video. It's like an hour and 15 minutes long or so. Lots of stuff left behind. Has a really creepy. So it has a basement, and then I spotted on a little doorway. I spotted, and like you look down, and it's like this tight metal, rusted out spiral staircase that goes even further down into the basement. And when you get to the bottom, to the left, there is a tunnel that connects to another tunnel that connects to another building. And it's very creepy. And in that tunnel was something that would creep a lot of you guys out. So you'll definitely love what I found in that tunnel. And yeah, it was a really great spot. A lot of things left behind. Set back. It was freezing out. It was like barely 10 degrees out. My beard was frozen. I had icicles in my beard. And I think you guys will really, really like this one. This is one of my favorite spots, and I'm probably going to go back to it because very, very creepy. And in the paranormal investigation, we did get some activity. That would be on the second part, but yeah, we did get some paranormal activity there, and I think you guys will like this one. So Carly-Ann says to John, that is an excellent point. Never really thought about the paranormal from that angle, like a psychological angle or like a magnetic angle. That's I'm gonna look into that a little bit more. That's interesting. John says, looking forward to the video. Thank you. I think you will enjoy it. This hospital closed, so it was open for about maybe 100 years, but it was like early 1900s to like early 2000s. So. And then at one point, too, this hospital had a whole section that ended up being a nursing home, and I think there was a nursing. There was actually like a nursing school at one point. I think they taught some classes for nurses here, and there's like a chapel in there. The first section we find, luckily, is operating rooms. So right off the bat, we're in operating rooms. So it's cool. It's a different hospital. There's rooms in there that I've never seen before in other hospitals. I don't want to really say too much to surprise you guys, but there's a room in there on the first floor. You'll see kind of early in the video, but it was an interesting room. I liked it. Starnova says, please don't forget about linking those videos in where you were featured. I will do that. Right after the video is done, I will update the description and put all the links to all those channels that featured. And I should be featured on even a bigger channel on another video. It's not confirmed yet, but I did email him back, and I haven't heard back from him, but he's very busy. He has a very big channel, so I'm assuming he's just going to take my permission, which I told him, you know, yeah, you can use my footage. So I'm assuming that, you know, he's going to use it, and I'm just been waiting to see if, you know, when that video comes out. So he drops videos like every 2 days. It's a very big channel. It's a very big channel. So I'll let you guys know as soon as that happens. Bonita says, is it a doll that you found? In the tunnel? No, it is not a doll. But there is something similar to a doll that I found, but that's something else. That's separate. So yeah, I found two things. Two creepy things in that tunnel. Two creepy things. One you'll see at the very end of the video, one you'll see midway through the video, and then I go back to the tunnel. So I go to the tunnel at first, realize what's in it, but then it was taking me to a whole different section of the hospital. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna turn around, explore the rest of this area, and then at the end of the video, I was like, all right, let's go back and finish the tunnel. Tammy says, operating rooms have a weird feeling all on their own. They do. They're the best. When you do abandoned hospitals, it's like number one on the list, morgue, finding the morgue. Number two is like operating rooms. And then like, you know, everything else is like, those are the top two. And like then the basements are always weird. So a lot of the basements in these old hospitals and stuff, they made them into like fallout shelters. So they're always interesting. Please don't end up on Mr. Gray's channel. Who's Mr. Gray? Mr. Gray's channel? I'll have to look it up. Is it like does he roast people? I mean, I don't mind being roasted. I think it's funny. But I don't know Mr. Gray. But yeah, I mean, if you guys got any other questions or anything you want to go into, let me know right now, because I'm probably going to be ending this very, very shortly. If you guys haven't checked out the Instagram page, please check out the Instagram. I'm going to be uploading a lot more lately. I've been a little lazy on the Instagram. It's been busy and whatnot. And, you know, please check it out. It's just at Realm Explore. That's it. And trying to build my following on there. So Benita says, well, the only time I found that the operating room was scary was when it was empty. Yeah, I don't know. I like to see the whole setup. I like to, as much stuff is left behind is what I like to see. I like to see the table. I like to see what are those crash carts and stuff like that. I love seeing that stuff. Chasing Plastic said, Mr. Gray is like the shape debunkers. Okay. I'll have to look into it. I'm not sure. The shape debunkers, like a channel that tries to debunk like paranormal channels, kind of thing. Kind of like an exposed channel. When we did surgeries, it was never scary to me. All right, I think I know what you're saying. Okay, so that channel is like a debunk channel for paranormal. That's what I'm guessing. Okay, yep. The Shape is a channel that, yeah, debunks the fakers. Okay, yeah. If he wants to try to debunk me, go ahead, because I'll probably already be ahead of him in the game of debunking myself. So, you know, I'll look into it. I've never seen it before. I remember one channel that was shown to me. It was called Exposed, and then he kind of disappeared. But I don't know what happened there. I only seen, someone told me about watching like the Haunted Broom. So I watched the Haunted Broom, and it was kind of funny. Lori says, I'm going to say bye, and I'm looking forward to seeing the video tomorrow. Thanks for sharing your story. Thank you very much, Lori. Thank you for joining, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your trip. Enjoy Ohio. Don't have too much fun in Ohio. I know you can get overwhelmed with fun over there. Starnover says, you're legit, you're real, so you'll never be on there. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I try my best to be as legit as possible, which actually makes things easier. So it's actually easier to be legit because there's no tricks to have to be set up. There's nothing. And if I get a little over my head on some things, then sometimes, I'll be like, all right, step back a little bit. Maybe I was wrong, and I'll evaluate. But it's easier to just film and just let things happen. If they do, they do. They don't, is what it is. So, Jason Plastic, you're good, broom. You're good, bro. Watch the shape. You'll see the stupid some of these channels do for views. It's entertaining. Yeah. Hey, I mean, if they're getting views and making money and that's what they want, then, power to them. I'm trying to convince myself that there is still paranormal, or there's paranormal or some kind of, weird things going on, whether it's ghosts, UFOs, interdimensional, whatever, I'm trying to prove myself. So, and I told you that story, and I kind of want to see if anything matches that, that personal story that I told you guys. If anything can match that, I will be satisfied. And I wasn't going to tell that story, so I wasn't planning on telling that story. But thank you for joining. Thank you everybody. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Chasing Plastic. Thank you, Benita. Thank you, Carly Ann. Thank you, Star Nova. Thank you, Tammy, for joining. Thank you, John. Thank you very much, John. Thank you, Hermione. Let's see. I don't want to miss anybody, but it's so hard to go through here. Thank you, Chan Britt, for joining. If I missed you, I'm so sorry. It's really hard. Anyone else who didn't, talk in the chat, it's totally fine. Thank you for popping in. I really appreciate all you guys. Who else is here? Fireman. Thank you, Fireman. I don't know if you're still in here, but if you are, thank you for joining. You get 5 flames for joining. 5 flames. Edwina, thank you very much for joining. Really appreciate you guys. And if I missed anybody, just put a comment down, and I will say thank you later on. So, all right, guys. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. Hope you guys got some things planned, and stay safe out there. And yeah, until next week. See you later.